I've seen you starting Figuring Finance back in 2021, and you've been consistent ever since.
It's when I was pregnant and I was about to be a mom, but I felt like I had no control over my money. Had very loose boundaries. I don't have a savings. I was about to have a child, so I realized, crap, I need to get it together. I was just finishing uni. It was just that thing of like, I need to do better with what I have.
Yeah.
Let me start now. So now after starting the page, and it was just for financial awareness, and I even would have dreams of like building something around money, a curriculum, and I'm like, what is this? Yeah. And the more I prayed, the more even others began to be like, hey, this one you need to seriously do. So that's what made me take that jump, because for me, I was like, how can I live off this? I want to be a consultant, corporate level. I want to wear the suit. I want to enter the big office. It was a shift of like, okay, God, I have to trust you, because I'm looking at this and it looks small. But now seeing how it's growing and the impact it's having, I'm like, okay.
No, actually, kidogo, we need to see, you know, because we're talking about money.
Talk about money.
Oh yes, I was telling you about Figuring Finance. She's on Instagram. Have you seen her content? You need to check it out. It's really good.
Oh, thank you. So the first year, funny enough, it was completely free content. So it was not a business. It was just financial, personal finance awareness. So it was just information. So we monetized last year. Last year in October. So that's when now we started charging, having programs. Yes.
Where are my manners? This isn't Njambi. She's actually my sister-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like ready to go at it. Yeah. She's the founder of Figuring Finance. And yeah, I thought it would be cool just to talk to you. And I'd say your biggest strength, at least the one that I'm aware of, is consistency.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I've seen you starting Figuring Finance back in 2020?
21, yes.
2021.
Yeah, like beginning 2021.
Yeah. And you've been consistent ever since, you know? So...
Thank you.
Yeah, so how did you start? Like, what made you actually start Figuring Finance?
So first off, it feels really good to hear that, because something I actually struggle with is being consistent.
You lie.
I promise, because it's something I think I have to intentionally do. So it feels really good to hear that. So what made me start is when I was pregnant and I was about to be a mom, but I felt like I had no control over my money. It was going to other things, and I just had very loose boundaries, and I was about to have a child, and there are things that I didn't want her to see that I've seen. So I realized, crap, I need to get it together. Yes, I'm young and can't really say I can do so much. You know, I was just finishing uni, actually in the middle of uni. So it was just that thing of like, I need to do better with what I have. Let me start now, because already I don't have a savings. Already I had saved a little, but it wasn't
much.
It was just there. It was not for anything. And I had no idea, okay, what are the expenses that are coming up with having a child? Things had changed by then in the pregnancy. So I needed to really just wake up and not live in a fairy tale and think, you know, it will all be taken care of. So that's what really sparked Figuring Finance, because I was like, I need to figure out my finances. Because I'm going to be a mom.
That name is so appropriate, Figuring Finance.
I'm going to be a mom, and I want to at least have a plan, to at least help her, you know, to give her a stable life at the level I can. And
it empowered you as well.
It did.
Because it pushed you to do... You definitely took a leap. The one thing you and I share is that we're very private and quite reserved. So when I'm seeing this girl posting like a reel, and I can see you're nervous, but I was so impressed because you put yourself out there.
It took a journey, to be honest, because from the time I started this journey with myself, it was 2018, 2019. More 2019. I had Malica in 2019. So yeah, more.
Malica is my little gorgeous niece. She's grown so tall. She's naughty with the cutest little, I call her Munchkin.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's when I started getting my finances in order, and then I started doing certifications and just really going in. I mean, every blog I would read, every podcast. That year alone, every day I listened to a podcast.
Oh, wow.
That year alone, every single day. And it had to do with personal finances. And at that time, it was just being birthed in me, and I didn't realize, but I was just going deeper, and I was still in school. So I was pursuing my bachelor's, and I think it was just that interest that kept growing, that even when I'd finished, I was like, okay, let me just help others be more financially aware, be able to start where they are at.
Yeah.
You know, with whatever they have, because, you know, I'm not asking you to be, you know, in the middle of your career. I'm asking you to just start with what you can, even if it's the budget from your parents, or it's, you know,
because that's what you did.
That's what I did. That's what I did. And I saw it working for me, because I realized, hey, I have this backup. When certain things don't go according to plan, I have this. My child has not lacked this. Also, to the grace of God, because it's not, you can't plan everything.
No, you can't.
So now after starting the page, and it was just for financial awareness, I kept feeling it's time to start. And I even would have dreams of, like, you know, building something around money, a curriculum. And I'm like, what is this? Yeah. And the more I prayed, the more even others began to be like, hey, this one you need to seriously do. I see you going this direction. I'm praying, and I'm just, you know, like, I just have a feeling. Yeah, people around. So that's what made me take that jump. Because for me, I was like, how can I live off this? What will this bring? I want to be a consultant, corporate level, you know, like, I want to wear the suit, I want to enter the big office. So it was a shift of like, okay, God, I have to trust you, because I'm looking at this and it looks small, but now seeing how it's growing and the impact it's having, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Do you know, I save plenty. I save plenty of your posts. Yeah, I feel like usually call me out. I'm like, what? Emergency fund? I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, you started it, things, you took the leap, things are going well. Moments where you felt discouraged. Yeah. What would happen?
Funny enough, I just felt discouraged this Monday, you know? Yeah, no, it was actually Friday. Anxiety. And also imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Who am I to do this?
We've talked about that, right? Yeah.
In fact, it was here at your house that you taught me how to do my first reel. So it was just that thing of slowly overcoming. It still happens still today, because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, figuring finance is doing the best and everything. No, we're in the growing stages. It is hard. I'm putting in 10 times more than I'm getting out.
Right.
Because I'm in the building, which you know, like, it's a stage where you are investing, building relationships with your clients, building relationships with people on your platform, engaging, you know, going out of your way to, you know, try and build more networks, build in the background, the admin systems, the program. So it is a lot. And when I feel that discouragement, I just try to remember the vision.
Yeah.
The vision. Where do I want this to go? And when it becomes too much, I call those that I can lean on, that are further in this field, or have opened similar businesses, service-based businesses, that understand that, okay, right now, Njambi, you cannot be expecting to be meeting this obligation, this, that. No, this is a baby.
Yeah.
And it's still growing.
Yeah.
So being able
It's very dependent on you.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being able to go back to the vision, and also who called me for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that actually keeps you doing what you're doing, because if he's the one that put that thing in your heart, there's a reason why he did that. And he trusts you. He's making you a steward for it. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So have you ever experienced sabotage?
Self-sabotage? All the time.
Well, self-sabotage and also sabotage from other people.
Like others trying to sabotage me.
You, yeah.
Well,
let's start with self-sabotage.
Yes, all the time. and I have to call myself out. And if others see that are close to me, they also can tell me. And I hope everyone close to me knows that. But
is it overthinking?
Overthinking and then not doing, because I freeze. And even your husband, my brother, biological brother, even tells me, you know, like, hey, you can't do that. I will freeze. I'll say, oh, this and this is coming out. I'll do this every week. Then I freeze.
I'm guessing you got that opportunity and then you're thinking maybe you can't do this?
Yeah. I was like, okay, I've not written a proposal before. And then I'm like, okay, how can someone else do it for me? But wait, I can't afford that. You know, so I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
And going through that motion of doing it and just
it's overwhelming
and then being like, will anything come out of it? Oh, this proposal I need to write, but I'm so busy. And I realize I say that a lot, because even my 4-year-old Malica tells me, Mommy, I'm very busy right now. So
really,
so I see that the self-sabotage comes in the procrastination, in the delaying things, in the, oh, I'll do it later, oh, I'll find someone else to do it, and then I'm just lagging. So those are the two main areas of self-sabotage.
Okay. And other people sabotaging you?
Other people, to be honest, it hasn't happened in a horrible way.
Okay.
I think it actually hasn't happened. It's just more of someone saw and was like, I want to recruit you in mine. In my company.
Right. Okay.
And it was just an opportunity, and it actually helped me be more encouraged, because in that time I was
so they were poaching you?
Yeah, they were poaching me.
Okay.
Actually, that's the word, poaching. And I think there was just one experience where there was a lady who I really admired, and I would sometimes seek advice from her, and all of a sudden the attitude changed, the tone changed, and it became very hostile and very like.
Is it when when you started doing well?
I'm not so sure.
Oh, you don't know.
Maybe it was during that time. I know there was something that had occurred. There was a 30-minute online meeting we were to have, and I thought it was the next 30 minutes. So I completely apologized. I asked, oh, please, let's have another one. I'm so sorry. But she did not take that well. It wasn't self-sabotage, but just sometimes in the industry, some people are not as
gracious.
She was, then it just changed. But she helped me where she could, and I guess when it was time,
it was done. The season ended. Yeah,
but nothing horrible. If anything, people, the majority have been really kind.
Yeah,
really welcoming.
Yeah. There's this notion that people have, I mean, myself included, when it comes to your passion, you can't make money from the things that you love.
Yeah.
But equally, you have to make money from your passion.
You do.
So now you have to find yourself where you lie between that tension. When it came to figuring finance, which I think you've mentioned a little bit, was there a point when you felt like, okay, now I need to actually like make money, but then that didn't happen?
Yes. And I was told,
and how did you deal with that?
I just go back to the vision, because sometimes it's just, for us, we've sold for a year. We are just crossing a year. So remembering, we are so young. What we're seeing on social media of overnight successes, of people starting and in 6 months they are millionaires.
Yeah.
That's not the reality for many of us.
Yeah.
So it's the growing stage. If this happens in the 5th year continuously, then now we got a problem. The 3rd year, we got a real problem.
Yeah.
And
like trust, you said you always remember the vision. And that's the thing that keeps you going, even though you're not monetizing the way you think that you would.
And so the process.
The process.
Because you can hear all these stories and you can admire others, but how long have they been doing their personal finance company? How long have they been having a podcast for, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes we're comparing ourselves to people that
put in work.
There's also the trap of staying stuck in the same position, in the same standard, same programs. You're not moving, you're not reevaluating, is this really working, and reinventing yourself. So that's also another trap.
Yeah.
Be aware of.
Yeah, I actually talked about it with Barak last week. I was like, one of my fears is stagnation.
Yeah.
And because probably you've gotten to a place where you do this thing and it works and it keeps working. But then you know deep down inside that you can do more.
Yes.
But because it's comfortable, you just stay there.
Yeah.
And if you want to evolve and you want more growth, whatever it is, you want to push forward.
Yeah.
Like, it's uncomfortable.
It
really is. I want to talk about motherhood and finances. So I'm not a mother, but I have a household. And with this economy is crazy. So what we've done actually is that we've had to rearrange some things, finances that is, so that we can move forward, right? So how has it been for you, especially as a mom, and you know, your baby's relying on you, you know?
Yeah. So that part has been tricky. I think everyone is feeling it, from single people, married, children. It's been challenging, right? And all we can do is, again, go back to what we have and what we can do with it and how we can maintain or utilize it effectively. So for me, it's the little tweaks in the budget, and that's why, and also sometimes pausing on investments, right? Sometimes pausing on some, going harder on others, just depending on how things are for that individual. But for me, even on Figuring Finance, you'll see a lot of content on lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because I feel that's where the real trap is. Sometimes we're looking and we're saying, oh, we can't afford to invest in X, Y, and Z or do this. But it's because, okay, what are your day-to-day habits? What are your weekly ones? So for me...
And that's where you find the leaks a lot, yeah?
And that's what I really zero in on.
You do. Yeah, you do. And I love it. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really becoming, I think, the lifestyle girl, the lifestyle personal finance coach,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for me, what's been helping is just those tricks like, okay, in the beginning of the month or mid, depending when I start my month, because again, I'm working with a variable budget. So buying everything needed through a wholesaler, at least the things they do have.
I saw that.
Yeah. And then the rest at a supermarket, an affordable one that I find affordable, because there's some that have more discounts than others. So having those little tweaks of being able to go to the wholesaler, and also stocking up. Some months are good, so I'll be like, hey, now I'm gonna get the 5 liter this, 5 that, and you realize those things will last months, so you won't have to buy them again for like 2 or 3 months. So just playing with the numbers like that. And also with Malica, my daughter, when I have a good amount, I'll shop for shoes like 8 months for 8 months. Like shoes her size, a size bigger, 2 sizes bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I have a good amount, because I'll be like, okay, instead of...
I mean, obviously she's growing, but that's... Oh.
Yeah, so just little things like that. If there are people coming into the country, if there are things I can get from there sometimes that are on sale and stuff, or that I just want because of the quality and all. Yeah, just those little tweaks. What's really helped me financially is tracking my spending, because I can spend. And it's good to know thyself. I can spend
as well, especially shopping online. We'll even talk about that. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that sitting and tracking, where has this gone? Because I have to, because I can lose control very quickly.
Yeah.
And I know it,
especially
when stressed. So being able to track, because a budget is great, but if it's just there alone.
Where do you spend the most?
Shoes.
Yeah.
Clothes.
Yeah, for me, it's online shopping as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's this app that I showed you, ASOS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's my vice.
And I hear you there, because for me, shopping was a big one. And it actually got to the point where I could buy and then I hide in my closet so that I won't see it. You know, you have to first forgive yourself. You're like, oh, let me put it back there.
You have to forgive yourself.
Yeah. You're like,
give yourself time to...
Yeah, give it to remember. You know, because I just...
Why? Because you're feeling guilty?
Yeah, because I knew, okay, I should save this. I wanted to do this, but I was stressed.
Would you say your relationship with money changed before you were a mom and after?
Definitely. I think before, I kind of lived in my own world, you know, like what I get, what I see is what I get sometimes at a point. So, and I think I had this relationship where it was a bit distant. It was like I know I should do this, so I'll do the bare minimum. I know I should save. Even though I'm not saving 10%, I'm saving at least this 1K.
And then you pat yourself in the back.
Because I'm in my 20s, my early 20s. Who is doing this?
Yeah.
You know? And I think for me, it's during pregnancy that real life really hit. And I was like, I don't have it together. I don't have, let alone other factors, but my money together at all.
That's scary, yeah?
And that's scary because you don't want to repeat patterns you've seen in your household. Many of us were not raised learning how to budget or even saving. You know, and some of us, we grew up in homes that were not, even though life was good, there were a lot of problems because of a lack of a financial system, financial stability, financial literacy. So you see patterns of over shopping or overindulging in certain months, and then now we are paying for it heavily, right? So I was like, I don't want my child to go through this. I don't want to repeat a pattern because I was, and even till today, it's something I have to be aware of. And it's not anything bad. I'm really grateful to my parents because they did the best they knew how to, and I have lived a good life. I can't say I've lacked any essentials, but it's just that thing of, okay, how can I do better?
I mean, I can see a difference between, you're definitely a lot more confident. Not that you weren't, but you're more empowered. And that, I think that comes with actually taking charge with not just finances, just everything in general, that whatever it may be. But you know, when you take charge, you realize, okay, so this is what I'm working with, and you're honest with yourself. It's like, okay. And it, you know, it's looking at you like squarely, dead in the eye. And I think at that moment, that's when you're in a better position to move forward, as opposed to just, you know, saying, I'll deal with it. And then that thing ends up becoming a dragon and it's too big to slay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to add this as a side thing is that we sometimes separate finances with emotions, but money is deeply rooted in how we think, how we feel. So I don't want it to look like I just started delving in because I was worried and anxious. There was a lot of back work that was being done. So there was a lot of prayer. There was a lot of therapy. There was a lot of support from family, because at the end of the day, how you are behaving with money is a direct reflection of what you're going through, or how you think, or what you're going through, how you think and feel. So you still have to deal with the big dragon, the one at the back, hiding itself in the trauma, hiding itself in the depression, hiding itself in the poverty mentality.
So the holiday season is just in the periphery. And you know that now comes with spending. For us, it's, you know, our families come together, the cousins, and that's when you kind of even feel a bit lax, like a bit relaxed. You're like, okay, maybe I can spend a bit more. You know, you've got, now for you have my niece who sees the toys. So how do you navigate that?
Proper planning. Because you are aware, I'm aware of what is coming up. I'm aware Black Friday is coming up. I am aware that the nanny has to go off. Meaning I might need to, send her off well, but also have someone come and help just a little bit here and there. That also takes money. So I'm aware that as well. I'm aware my child is on holiday. So she needs to stay active. And now that just takes planning just ahead of time, a little bit more, to help alleviate the stress that will come.
In that case, like, you've overspent, because let's be honest, that's what most of us are going to do, especially when the festivities are around. And you've reached out of pocket, right? So you're in that place, okay, you're looking at your, what is this? You're tracking your spending, and you've seen, okay, I've overspent. So how do you maybe not undo what you've done?
but move forward.
Maybe, what's the word that I'm looking for? curb it, I guess.
Curb it.
Yeah, and maybe make a slight correction moving forward so that you don't suffer in January.
In January.
Yeah.
I think just first know how much has been spent, right?
Yeah.
Go back and track, and then from there you can move with more caution. And I think sometimes when it pinches a little bit, it teaches a bit more. When you now find yourself like, now I have to take a loan, a big loan because I overspent. Sometimes it can pinch just a little bit more, especially depending on how bad the situation is. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Like for me, I have a certain account and it's for spending. Like I will put some aside for spending, you know, because I remember a time during the holiday where I just overdid.
Yeah.
I overshopped, overdid, and it pinched me. And I learned a little bit.
Yeah.
So I keep that in mind. Like, okay, now the big expenses I must take care of. Let me be diligent in that. I can negotiate with the rest, and I can give myself money to spend. Because this personal finance journey is not about just limiting and living like a hermit, maybe just in the house all the time, but also giving yourself time to live.
Yeah.
I'm not saying save half your income, you know, but be able to live a life that will allow you to achieve your goals and achieve what you want.
I love that you said that because we've talked a little bit about living a little more.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense. You just have to plan.
Yeah.
Just have to plan. So what was it that we were talking about? You know what? You said, you know, I've learned how to live a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, there's something you asked.
What did I ask?
And I don't even think I answered. I think is money, do I think, is it a stressor? Is it joy?
Yes. Is it a source of stress or joy for you?
So for me, I think of money as a tool. It can be used either way. It's how you use it. It's like a car. When you get in, it's a vehicle. It continues to be a vehicle.
Yeah.
But where you drive to will determine, I guess, your destination. You know, are you going here and, you know, driving recklessly and maybe end up in an accident and then you know, your vehicle is injured and it can't take you as far, or you fix it and it's taking you but not at the rate you want it to go. So money is a vehicle, it's a tool. We are telling it where to go. And when we don't, it will tell us, right? We're there to control, to, you know, make sure it's getting us where we want. So money can bring stress and it can bring joy, and it has brought both to me.
Yeah.
But I like to just continuously think of money as a tool that I must tell it where to go.
Control it.
Because if I don't, it will control me. And that can also show up emotionally with overthinking, anxiety, which to this day I'm working on. So I just try to think of it as a tool.
That's a very good point. To add on to that, I think of money as amoral. So it's neither good or bad.
Oh.
So it just depends on the hands money is in. If what's our verse in the Bible? The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. It's confirmed
Timothy 6:10.
Well, damn, girl.
Hallelujah to that.
Yeah, it's 1 Timothy 6:10.
Okay.
For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So it's not money in itself. It's the love for money.
And if you translate that word, I believe, I don't want to say Hebrew, but I think it's Hebrew, not Greek. It translates into greed.
Yeah.
It's actually the love of greed. Like overindulgence is the root to all evil, because money is a tool. And if we can look at, I ain't gonna go off preaching. I ain't no preacher.
It actually says,
you might see me in the club next month. I'm just do
you know what it actually says?
Yeah.
And some people craving money, so what you're saying, greed, the crave, have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows.
Ooh, barracuda. And then go to like 6:17.
So command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant.
Number 1, humble.
Nor to put their hope in wealth.
Now, remember your source?
Which is so which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment.
So are we meant to enjoy? It says for enjoyment. Does it say in
you need to suffer.
But it says be humble. It says remember your source.
So not to put your trust in these worldly systems. Clearly, when we saw 2020,
Yes.
Things like the system completely failed.
Yeah, it did. But we have principles here that we're already being told. We're being told not to be greedy, to not act in pride. I believe further down or something, there's somewhere about helping others, helping the needy, and also the whole thing of remembering God is our source. So we have to also be mindful when reading the word. Go to the source. Money is not evil.
No, it's immoral.
It's the greed that is evil.
It's a greed.
The
It's
love,
the love
of
money.
Yeah.
Produces all kinds of evil.
Yes. Hey, we went on a tangent, but yeah. I hope everyone was blessed by the message.
Amen.
The cute girls.
If anything, it's actually quite rare to find a young person applying biblical principles. In their life.
But with clients, it's more on a professional level. We first identify your values.
Right.
For some, a value, which is how you want, what makes you fulfilled. Because again, I asked you, does shopping make you fulfilled? Someone's value can be helping others. Someone's value can be freedom.
Yeah.
Someone's value can even be adventure. Like they want to go and travel. So when you're able to know your values, you're able to align them with your goals. So if you want freedom, you know you want passive income. You're trying to have time. You're trying to buy your time.
So you, with Figure and Finance, when you have your clients, you actually tailor make your, what would you say, the path to the particular client based on their values.
Yes. And we have to see your values. We have to know, like, what do you want? Because I can tell you this amount of money you put for holiday. What if holiday is not what you're really like adamant on? Like for me, I took my daughter on her first holiday at 3 years old. It's not a big thing for me, you know? For someone else, they might want to go every year and that makes them so fulfilled. And they feel so good and rejuvenated and work 10 times better. So you really have to go back to your values. What is it about money? It is a tool. But what is it about it that you're after? Because you're not after the cash. You can have $10 million here in cash and it's just paper. Well, what is it you want to do with that paper? And to be fulfilled, you have to attach it to a value.
Living a little more. It's something that I've even seen.
Really?
Yeah, man. Manuella Njambi comes out with us and you're like, oh, for real? You're not playing a prank on us? You know? And she's dancing.
I love to dance.
Yeah, me too. Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
So what made you get to that space where you're like, I just want to, not that you're abandoning all the parameters you've put in your life, but it's like, I also need to live.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is when you constrict yourself so much and you're like, discipline, I need to do this, I need to do this. It's like a pressure cooker.
Yes.
And then you blow up and then you end up undoing everything that you've done. So what got you to that place where you're like, okay, let me enjoy life a bit more?
I think what got me there is Malica being a bit older now. She's 4, but at that time I started living a bit more. She was 3, but the older 3-year-old stage. So she's not in need of me as much as before. Okay. And that kind of helped alleviate some guilt.
Oh, so is that a real thing?
Yes, mom guilt is real, you know? And also I found myself more, rather, I started feeling like myself again more when I started gymming, doing Figuring Finance, seeing doing what I love, and also feeling good about myself. So that has also really, really helped. And just feeling like, okay, I'm not married yet, and I have 1 child. This is the time I have. This is the time God has given me a bit of a grace period to get myself back, to have 1 child, not 3 or 5. You know, maybe there's a reason I've had to, take a little longer than I thought in the single journey. Maybe there's a reason I'm having this time to, having finished school, start a business, grow it a bit, raise Malica a bit, more. So I'm like, why not just go out a bit? In fact, there's a friend of mine who tells me she's still in shock when she sees me like out and everything here and there.
I am too, but in a pleasant way though.
Yeah, because I've been like this, and sometimes it's good to be that way, but I think there's times and seasons, and there's a season to enjoy and to have friends and to go out, because how will I even meet people?
What is that thing you told me when we were talking about dating? I think I was just like trying to, pick your brain.
Yeah.
And you said something to do with when you opened up and said, okay, now I'm ready to date.
Yes.
What did you expect?
Oh, I expected him to come. Like the good one, the right one, everything straight.
What did you say? You said, I'm ready.
Yeah, I said, I'm ready. I'm like, I'm ready. Time to have this move.
And then what happened?
Hey. Wow. So it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened like that at all, because there's a part to chance with meeting someone and all that and getting back in, because I think I had an idea of how dating is versus...
What was the idea?
The idea is there are very good people around, and there are many of them. And the minute I say hello, they say hello. The minute I say you're ready to settle, they say no. Actually, they're the ones who say I'm ready to settle. In fact, it was you I was looking for. You are the queen. You are just the way I dreamt. But that's not the reality.
Your values have completely changed.
Yeah.
You're older. You're wiser.
Yes.
So what is it that you're looking for right now in a partner that would make sense to you?
I don't want to go there because of the 47% that will be getting the rule book.
Look, I'm scared.
And and be like, maybe that's trauma talking, but I'm going there. But what I can just say is I think someone that is respectful, that is kind.
Do you know what I think? It's someone that shares the same values as you, my friend.
Yes. Oh, you see, the married needs to advise. Yes.
No,
it's true.
For you, for what I'm seeing, someone that is godly.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's the number one thing.
And strives to be better.
And not just like putting on this righteous hat and saying, I love God, but they really show with their actions.
Yeah.
And then the fundamental values are the same.
Yes.
So it's not based on agreement. It's actually based on commitment. It's like no matter how hard, no matter how good it is, especially the hard part, you guys are still committed to each other.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
100%.
I think that's what it, and I think that's what a lot of women and guys too want.
Yeah.
So how do you stay healthy mentally as a mom?
Wow. I would say, and I don't mean to sound all...
It's your opinion.
Yeah, goody two-shoe, but prayer really helps. There's some things you can't fight on your own, no matter how hard you try. There's some things, no matter how much control you have over money and your income or this and that, God plays a big part. Because there's just some things you can't control. We could not see COVID coming.
No, or this bloody economy, but anyways.
Right? So God really helps. And then journaling, leaning on others. I've really realized it's okay to say I'm down, I'm sad, I'm feeling this way.
Okay.
And I'm glad, I think in our family, that's something I've seen we have, where someone can call you and be like, hey, I've been down.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. And seeing, support, and that can also come in the form of therapy, which I do.
Yeah.
Which I do.
Yeah.
And have been doing, So therapy really, really helps. Journaling, because sometimes, that budget sometimes be tight. You can't be having 3 sessions in a month sometimes,
Yeah.
Even 2 is pushing it. So journaling has been a game changer, being able to identify my emotions. Because I don't know if you've struggled with this before, but sometimes I don't know why I'm actually this upset or this sad. I think it's because of A, but I start to write and it's A, it's B, C, D, Z, K, L, Y, and journaling helps to connect those dots and be like, oh, what's actually disturbing me is this event that took place. It's not that Malica threw a tantrum. Malica's my daughter. It's this and this that happened, and that was just the trigger. And a big thing that has helped, and I hope we can be more open to this, and our generation is breathwork, mindfulness.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Breathwork.
I even took a little course on it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it really helps. Being grounded in the present.
Interesting. Let me think. And then there have been a few times when I've been upset and I take deep breaths.
Yeah.
I actually take, and that actually comes with it. But is it more than that?
No, it's actually that and little practices like maybe removing your socks and just feeling the carpet and just feeling your leg on the carpet and the movements when you move your foot. It's as small as that, or putting your hands together.
So does it have to do with sensory?
Yes. And being there in the present, feeling how your hands are coming together and, wrapping around each other, just being aware brings you back to the present. Sometimes our minds are in the past, in the future, and they're traveling and your mind is traveling so fast between both that now you're losing it.
Yeah.
You're not even here. Some, like, you've heard of people driving and they don't even know where they're going. They're forgetting. Your mind is moving so fast.
Yeah.
So being able to.
How have you found your identity in motherhood, but not also getting lost in that?
For me, it was honestly a process because with Malica, there was a lot of, almost immediately after, I battled with depression heavily and severely. So it started rough.
Yeah.
Like I was happy to be a mom, but it started rough. And that's the truth. So I think for me, it was more of a process of awakening and prayer and healing from certain heartbreak and just finding myself. And I think what helped was figuring finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, prayer, of course, because that's what led
to figuring finance and everything else.
I think what also helped was I'm really glad that I was pushed to finish school. I'm really glad I was pushed. And then I started pushing myself. Because there's something about achieving things and it's for you and completing that helps you in that process. Just build some confidence, know yourself more, and have that faith that you can do more. If I could complete this, if I could finish paying for this, if I could sit these exams and pass, regardless of A, B, C, D, E that was going on around, I can start a business. Along with also, getting to know Malica for myself and seeing her wonderful personality and everything.
She's amazing.
It really, there's a way a child mirrors you. So there's a way, sometimes if we don't work on certain things, they come out.
Yeah.
For instance, impatience.
Oh, yeah?
Easily angered. A child will bring it out of you. So there's a way they help you grow. They just
reflect it, right?
Yeah, they reflect it. She's the spark of figuring finance, to be honest, because it was when I was pregnant with her. So she came with her own amount of blessings, but I believe
birthed your blessings.
Yes, and I believe every child comes with a blessing. And for Malica, I believe it was growth. It was to reveal the lion, because some people, they see the sweet, the soft, but Malica
but there's a side of you that you channel when it comes to these other things.
Yeah, that is fire. That is like
fierce,
and I think Malica helped to bring that out, and motherhood can do that.
Finally, Wellington says something. My homie has been quiet, man.
So happy to hear Wellington.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's about tracking your expenses. I'm that guy that I don't cook a lot, and I'm guilty of that. But I always find myself eating out.
Yes,
that's me as well.
Like I have not been able to manage that. How can I work around that one? Yes.
So if you find you are not having time to cook, and I'm guessing it's because, you're filming and sometimes you're working late or working the whole day. So I would advise to be able to start pre-cooking. right? I think it's called pre-planning, pre-cooking.
Pre-planned.
Yeah, pre-planned meals where you freeze some of them, where you make things that you can freeze, maybe the rice or some sauces that are just very easy to, you know, make a meal out of. And a second thing is tracking, because when you track and sit down and tracking is not to be heavily detailed. There are categories you have. You have food, maybe you have eating out. So being able to identify, okay, how many times have I eaten out, which dates, and the amount. So the description, the dates, the amount. That's all you really need. Because when you know how much, sometimes even that number might shock you. And that's what might be the catalyst for you to change that.
So we have the beautiful Njambi. I am so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing amazing. Check her out. I'll put her thingies. What do you call her handles in the description box.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And
You're
we're
welcome.
most active on Instagram, but as you said, we're also on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. So yes.
Watch this next video.
Thank you. Watch this
next video.
Which one? Oh, this. Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. Hey, the coffee. It's the coffee. Let's see.
Oh, well done.